What's up, guys? I'm back with another movie review. This one is from Alternative Cinema. It's put out through their Retro Seduction Cinema line. It is The Prince and the Nature Girl. This is the last of the nudist movies made by Doris Wishman, one of the great sexploitation, crazy movie makers. This one is interesting because it was really hard to find for a long time. It was almost impossible to see. There was only one known existing print, and it was in German, so that was the only way to see the movie. Alternative Cinema has gone back to the original censor records to find the dialogue records. They found it and they re-recorded it, which I know some people would be like, oh, well, it's not the original language. But if you're familiar with these kind of movies, Doris Wishman would often have people even like look off camera during dialogue so that it would be easier to loop it back in. So this idea that you're missing out on the original dialogue is not really as much of a concern as it would be in some genres. So I'm not worried about that. It also has new narration. So overall, I mean, you're finally getting to see the movie, and it's about twin sisters. One of them is, her name is Eve, and she's kind of a blonde, and she's outgoing, and, she's fun, bubbly. And her sister Sue is a brunette, and she's more of like, kind of restrained and repressed. But she wants to have fun, but she just doesn't have that, like, innate outgoing nature that her sister has. They end up going to a nudist camp, and they meet Mr. Prince, who is indeed a prince. He's handsome, he's charming, he's rich, but he doesn't like to, rest on his laurels, so he likes to work hard, play even harder, and he likes to go to nudist camps in his spare time as well. He meets the sisters. He and Eve instantly have a pretty, flirtatious back and forth. Nothing serious happens, but in the meantime, Sue really starts to kind of fall for him, but she's too shy to make her move, and so, it kind of looks like maybe Eve is going to end up with him. But then Eve has to go out of town for a wedding, and in that time Sue decides, hey, she's going to find out for sure whether or not blondes have more fun. So she dyes her hair and she makes her move, and then the movie's just kind of what happens. It's just a goofy, silly nudist movie. The dialogue is funny. It's got some weird, awkward lines in it that are fun. It opens by saying, after they talk about the prince and where he's from and his grand, place, they talk about the sisters and say, these are from a different kingdom called Ohio. It's just really weird, but it's really funny. It's very innocent, cute fun. It's got a lot of nudity. It's all topless scenes and bare asses. The men normally wear little shorts. There's definitely no frontal nudity from men or women in this one. They sit with their legs crossed constantly, even when they're on a swing or on a teeter-totter, so that kind of adds some unintentional humor as well, because they have to frame themselves just so to make sure that, nothing unseemly is witnessed. So it does have a lot of nudity. It doesn't have any violence at all, so there's no blood. Like I said, the dialogue is a lot of fun. There's not a lot of dialogue, though. This movie runs under an hour. I think it was 52 minutes and some change. But it doesn't have a big focus on the narrative. There's a lot of stock footage and reused just general nudism scenes, which again, it kind of sucks, but at the same time, these kind of movies often kind of feature this kind of patchwork filmmaking, so it's not a huge issue there either. But certainly, there's some stretches between, the narration. But you get to see a bunch of naked people do weird shit like play horseshoes and shoot suction cup darts, ride a teeter-totter. Just some weird stuff. I recommend it. I thought it was fun. If you're a fan of Doris Wishman or nudism movies, which, who knows? I am. I think they're just fun to watch. And plus it's got a bunch of, pretty naked girls in it. There's nothing wrong with that. The DVD is from Alternative Cinema through Retro Seduction Cinema. It's got the movie. It's got audio commentary track with some of the people from Alternative Cinema, including Doris Wishman biographers on there, so it does have a lot of really good information. And they talk about the process, too, of bringing it to, finally bringing it out. It's also got a TV segment with Doris Wishman. It's got a series of nudist short films, which are very interesting. I always like them. I always like the Something Weird discs when they came with the bonus shorts. I always thought they were really interesting and colorful. Then it's got some trailers and that's it. So it's a really solid disc. It's well priced. I think some people might be let down with it because it does have so much reused footage and the fact that, the dialogue has been re-recorded, but it's just unavoidable at this point. The movie it is what it is, and I would rather see it in this best possible presentation than not see it at all. So to me, I think it's very recommended. If you like this review, please check out my website, markfusion.com. I've got a ton of other stuff up there. I've been covering some of the older seduction cinema titles slowly over time, so you'll see more of those. But I also do a lot of horror, cult, exploitation, video games, anime, TV shows, everything you can think of. I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, @MarkFusion. Drop me a sub if you like these videos. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching these. I do appreciate it. Don't miss it out. The last Doris Wishman nudist movie, The Prince and the Nature Girl. Thanks, guys.